In this episode, we send off our friends at Living Seaworthy with a nice bon voyage from the docks as they head south to the Keys. And then Brad changes the oil and we get some maintenance done on our boat as we get ready for our trip south in a few days. Our friends at Living Seaworthy are heading down to the Keys, and we're doing a little send-off from the dock. Hi! Woo! Have a great trip! We'll see you soon! See you in like 2 weeks or so! See you soon! Alright, so we're gonna see them soon. Woo!
Alright, Ellie, what'd you get?
Flounder.
Nice.
First time.
Really? It's your first flounder?
First flounder in this marina. Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
The little baby one.
What'd you catch him on?
Raw hot dog.
No way.
Yeah.
Take him off. Let him live another day.
That would be cool. Oh yeah. He didn't swallow it actually.
Make sure you don't give away your secret bait.
Whoop.
Not in my face. This time you're not gonna give me.
Whoop. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so today's project is one I've been putting off for a little bit. Need to do engine maintenance on the single Ford Lehman 120 and the Westerbeek generator. So I need to change all the engine oil, gotta change the fuel filters, check the belts, check the coolant, just make sure that everything's good to go before we take off. I didn't get the best service records with this boat, so I figured it'd be good to start, you know, just from a fresh start, and then we can keep up hourly maintenance from there. So off to the store to get some supplies. Alright, so got the oil heated up in the generator. Got this cool Japsco oil changer pump. Got this from my good buddy Brian. Really appreciate this. Made me a good deal on it. So this is going to be a lifesaver. So you can't drain the oil out of the bottom of these engines or generators because of the way they sit in the bilge. And so you have to use either a manual or an electric pump. And I've got this electric one now. So it hooks up to a battery. And flip the switch and we're going to pull the oil out. Alright, so pulled the dipstick right down here and put the hose that runs up here up through this bigger hose into the pump into the bucket. So theoretically when we flip the switch we should see some oil coming up through here. Let's go. Alright guys, if you see I'm doing anything wrong here, feel free to comment below. It's my first time changing oil on a generator or inboard diesel engine like this. Done a lot of tractors, which this engine's pretty similar to, vehicles, but it's a new experience, so feel free to comment. So I just changed the fuel filter, and I couldn't really put that on film because it's pretty hard to see. It's kind of dark down there. But we just got the fuel filter back installed, got the new oil filter, took the old oil filter off, and got ready to put a little bit of oil on top here. Kind of seal. Reinstall this back in here, like so.
Having to jump over holes.
So what's interesting about this is I can't actually get to the top of the oil fill. So I think the best bet is to fill the oil back through where the dipstick goes, which is where I pulled it out originally. So got a funnel with a 1/2 inch hose on there. I'm gonna put it on there. Hopefully it won't leak. I'll put a hose clamp on there just in case. And we'll put about 3 quarts of oil in there. Check back in a second.
Cool.
Okay. So putting about 3 quarts of oil in here, going through the dipstick. Let's go. Knew all those years on the farm. It's gonna pay off. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Diesel engines, diesel tractors, they're all the same, right?
Pretty much. Especially since this engine is basically a tractor engine.
Yeah. That's what you liked about the boat.
Yeah, it's simple and pretty straightforward. These engines are relatively low hours, around 3,500 hours on each, the main engine and the generator. And these engines will go 10,000, sometimes even more hours. Maybe not the generator, but the main engine will. Generator should be good for it's all kinds of information out there, but 7,000-8,000 hours at least, from what I've read.
So you're just letting it funnel through and adding, Are you adding that whole thing?
Nope, we're putting 3 quarts in. There's 4 quarts, there's a gallon right here.
Gotcha.
I was pretty happy when I went to the auto parts store to buy this, 15 weight 40.
Yep.
It was on sale, $20 a gallon down to 13. So that kind of felt like a win.
You're all about the deals.
You know me, I love the deals. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, we'll fire it up here in a second. Let it flow through the filter. And check the oil levels. Moment of truth. We're gonna fire it up. Check the oil levels. Hopefully we don't have to bleed the engine from the fuel filter, but we'll see. We'll let it sit for a second, let the oil drain back down into the bottom of the block, and we'll see. In the meantime, I'm gonna put this back up.
What's that?
That's a good question. Basically, it looks like it catches some overflow from oil, possibly,
Okay.
but I'm sure somebody out there will correct me, tell me what it is. I'm a real diesel mechanic, I can tell you that.
The YouTube kind.
Yeah. So one of the little things I learned along the way, I don't know if anybody else does this, I'm sure a lot of other people do, is using dog pee pads right there, little training pads, and I throw those down here underneath the engine when I'm doing the oil change, and that way it catches all the oil that, you know, you're always going to have some oil come out, and that way it doesn't go down in the bilge, and that way it doesn't get pumped overboard. You don't have to worry about any oil in the bilge or going out into the ocean. So,
Saving the ocean one pee pad at a time.
yeah. And then you recycle. Alright, so check the dipstick now that we let the oil settle back down, and it looks perfect. It's right about right there. So it's exactly where we want it to be. Now on to the main engine, and then we'll be done.
Oh, you still have more to do?
Oh yeah,
Oh boy.
always.
In the meantime, this
What'd you do to our boat, Kara? You
is
destroyed it.
in tight spaces. Tiny living. What are you using?
So I'm pumping the old oil that I just pulled out of the generator, putting it into this empty can here, so that I can reuse the bucket to fill up from the main engine.
Cool.
Alright, so I may not film the main engine just because it's somewhat redundant, but we'll give you an update if there's any catastrophes.
Cross our fingers, there's none.
Alright, so before we do the main engine, we need to warm the oil up, so we're going to start up, run it for about 5 or 10 minutes or so, and just let it heat up. So here we go.
So you're refilling the containers from the bucket. And
Yep.
then
So I pulled about 3 gallons of oil out of the main engine, and it's all in the bucket. And then I'm going to fill up each one of these gallon containers.
what?
And then I'll take it to a proper disposal place.
And while we do that, we watched Sailing with Tara on video. We love them. If you don't follow them on YouTube, they're doing something really awesome with their kids, and they're circumnavigating via sailboat before their kids go to college. They have a great story.
Hey Brad, hey Kara, hey Ollie, hey Everly. We're here. You see in the background, but we made it. We made it, and this is our victory celebration drink. And next time we have one of these, I wanted to be with you guys. So super stoked to be here. I want to let you guys know right away that we made it, and hopefully your journey will take you down here right behind us. So see you guys soon.